On this week's update, man eating pumpkins, demons, a missing crown, and a stampeding herd. Welcome back to ElfSix Studios, where every week, we get together and have fun, and try to figure out the new update. This week we were greeted by a demon. The demon was talking to a skeleton, so Dave waited his turn to talk. As he waited, one of Dave's friends arrived. Guys, this is Baller. He likes to join the weekly fun, but Baller doesn't always get mentioned. In fact, Dave forgot to mention Baller in the previous episodes, and Baller felt a bit left out. Dave did apologize to Baller and promised to give him a mention this week. So say hello to Baller, everyone. Did I mention his name is Baller? Oh, where did he go? Well, anyway, the demon has given the gang a challenge this week. He has stolen something from the map, and we have to figure out what it is, and where to find it. Dave went to look round and bumped into some more visitors. The killer and Shapter were here, looking rather menacing in their black outfits. Just then, Soul Devourer announced he had discovered the missing item. The crown from the top of the obby was missing. So that's what the team had to find. Dave suggested everyone spread out and search the grounds. By now, Slippy had turned up. This week she wasn't Halloween Slippy, or Noob Slippy, no, this time she was Darkside Slippy. Then they went underground, to search the tunnels, and the back rooms. Dave was reluctant to venture into the back rooms again, after what happened last time. He broke 4 legs, got concussed by Slippy, twice, and peed and pooed his pants. It wasn't pretty. Dave stood in shock at the memory, while the others went searching for the crown. Dave was all alone, so went to find the gang. And bumped into a demon, a witch and the dark side. Dave had peed himself again. And to make things worse, Slippy started to levitate, and had for sure gone to the dark side. Well, eventually, Dave found the crown, and the demon announced he would be back next week, with another challenge, that would be much harder.
Oh, goody!
Dave was overjoyed at this information. He went back to the other guys. Prankster 1 was here, and even Prankster 2 had turned up this week, and a homeless guy. Shadow Pig reminded them. There was still another item to find, a man-eating pumpkin block. He was amazed that nobody had found it yet. In fact, it took a long time, even with everyone looking, to find the nasty creature. Everyone spent forever looking. TV Man had to lean against the fountain for a breather. He then went and got changed into proper TV Man. Eventually, after being lost in the maze, for a few months, the man-eating pumpkin was found. It failed to actually eat anybody, which is nice. Dave and the team thought it would be easier to die than try and find the exit of the maze. So they did. After Dave got back from slaying a village of hobbits, he found Shadow Pig on the roof of the studio, in a wheelchair, with a blanket across his legs. You know, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you have absolutely no idea what random nonsense you might end up muttering. But we like plenty of random here at ElfSix Studios. Devourer wanted to know where the chopper was, and a totally red guy asked where the note was. Neither were on the helipad, so who knew, who cared? Too many questions. Why was Shadow in a wheelchair? How had Dave managed to get to Middle-earth and back in a few seconds? And why was he off slaying fat hobbits? And why was he still wearing that helmet that was covered in blood? Well, that's the good thing about Halloween. It can get as weird as you like, and nobody will bat an eyelid. Devourer dropped dead. One-Eyed Not Dave, who was currently not One-Eyed Not Dave, suggested Shadow had been run over by a madman. Well, there are plenty of them around here. Dave decided it was time to do a group photo, because they had forgotten last week. The only place with decent lighting was the reception area, so they all piled in. Karen was asleep, and took no notice. The Titanic was here as well now. He was even shorter than Dave, by the look of it. Maybe he was sinking. As usual, they had to wait for all the stragglers to get there.
1 hour later. 2 hours later. Eventually.
Finally Slippy arrived, and then Shadow sauntered in. A totally red guy was having a seizure after waiting so long. Dave felt like he was organizing a tea party for a troop of chimpanzees. And now look, now they are standing still. Never work with kids or animals. All of a sudden, and for no reason whatsoever, the herd began to stampede. I can't even begin to explain what happened there. The herd had come up to play land. More like Land of the Man-Eating Blocks. This was only going to end one way. Dave and the gang were dicing with fire. The blocks probably hadn't eaten for a week, it was only a matter of time. Dave's heckles were rising, he had a feeling. Nobody was listening. Then, not just one, but two at the same time. It was a double munch. The gang knew it was useless to resist, there was only one escape from the blocks, and we all know what that it is. Even jumping up and down was useless. Later, everyone congregated at the new wall of monthly employees. They were all excited for the upcoming competition on the 28th. You are all invited to be here, wearing your best Halloween costume, where you can show it off, and maybe win the best costume. Or just come along and watch, and bring all your friends too. We are here every Saturday, and Dave makes a video of it, so come and be in the video. And who knows, you might even end up on Employee of the Month. Guys, be sure to check out the suggested videos after the list of this week's performers. Love ya.